So, when I was playing the campaign Evolved, there were some good missions on Halo, like good moments on Halo, but feels like some parts were lost. Now, when the pod did crash and the Marines did get flying out, I thought that was a good touch. That was a good touch, the doors opening in the background and all that kind of extra stuff. I thought that was cool. That was a good add-on.
At last! Are you alright? Can you move? The others.
When the campaign, throughout all these missions, what I'm going to be going through, I noticed they didn't add upon what the idea of Halo was. It's a very open exploration mission. And hey, that's what Halo is. It's a lot of exploration.
If we're lucky, the Covenant will believe that everyone aboard this lifeboat died in a crash.
It's very exploring. It's very cold, I feel like cold, exploring. I want to go around. I just have to do this. I have to do this. They added a kill boundary, which they completely don't understand what they're doing. They don't understand. Here, I just die with a kill boundary. So when I was playing this on Campaign Evolved, I had a couple ideas. I was like, how did they mess it up, and how did they actually should improve it? So imagine if we had one route going up here and one route going this way. Like a rocky type of path into the hills. So I'm just gonna kill these enemies. I'm gonna head back and actually explain what I mean. So you see that Banshee? The way he kind of leaves the area? So I wanna explain. Okay, finally the music is gone. So, the elites are coming after you. It's pretty cool. The ring. Just beauty of the ring. So, this mission is very open. The Pillar of Autumn is very claustrophobic, very kind of closed off. And this mission is very open. And my ideas for this mission is they should have expanded upon the openness. Instead of putting kill boundaries everywhere, here, expand upon it, build upon it. So, for example, you know how the Banshee flew away? Imagine if you can hijack it with a plasma pistol and fly outside the map. And there was a base outside the map. And you can go outside the map and there's a base. Or imagine if you got the Banshee, you can go on top there and there's a forest. See how there's a forest there? But we can't really go there. But imagine if they said, you know what, guys? Explore. We'll take the exploration further than they could have done in 2001. So imagine you could take a Banshee and fly on top, and then you can walk upon those hills, and there was elites there, and there's a forest, a dense forest of trees, and you're walking through the trees up top, or you can Banshee fly further outside the map, or Banshee fly there. Imagine, this was something I always thought. Imagine you could steal the Banshee and fly, just fly that way, and explore. Maybe there was nothing there. Maybe it was just open area. But the choice of flying across the map, going to the water, going further. Imagine they added some more stuff. Imagine if you got the Banshee, you could actually fly to the end of the mission, but to get the Banshee would have been difficult because you have to time it correctly, but it was possible. You could get the Banshee with the plasma pistol, take it down, fly to the end of the mission, and just fly over the hills, over the mountains. Or sections where they could have expanded upon was these paths, so you could walk upon these paths in Dark Souls, where it's paths upon the cliffs, and you're just walking upon these little tiny paths across the cliffs down into the ground. You can get all the way down, and then you can travel upon the ground, and there will be little bases or enemies coming to push you, and there will be constant waves, stuff like that. Really expand upon the idea of what the original original did. So that was one of the things that came to me when I was like playing Campaign Evolved. Like, why do they make boundaries? Make more exploration, like a cliffway where you can like travel up the cliff. It doesn't have to be a banshee. Maybe just make it where you can just like walk across the cliff, or like go through the waterfall and there's like a different section on the other side. Like make each area more. Expand upon the idea. Don't just like go back. So that was the one of the things I was like, main ideas. In general, they got this place right, except from the kill boundaries and the invisible barricades. Also, sprint makes this path so trivial. You just sprint up and that's it. But on Legendary, these enemies are actually a pain in the ass to kill. And to get up to this point from there was like, whoa, you know, whoa. Just look how good this looks. The coldness of the space. Just, whoa, you know, whoa. I think you can parkour back up. I think you can do it. And just travel back. If I want to. Like, there is an option. Yeah, you can do it. Yeah, there's nothing back there, but imagine if, like, there was something back there, you know?
I'm reading a lifeboat beacon over the next hill. We should check to see if there are any survivors.
The Neela. So better. No ammo counter, no stupid, like, over the top. Like, you only need really one ammo counter, and that's on the top of the screen with the bullets. But with the new campaign of all, there's like 5 counters. It's like, why? This Needler was so perfect. It was so perfect, everything about it. The crystals, the way inside the crystals, the little energy it looks like a crystal of energy. And in general, they got this mission kind of right. In Campaign Evolved, Pillar of Autumn and this mission, they got right. But again, they didn't push the boundaries because they just lazy, they don't want to work on it, they didn't have time, any excuse you want to give them. But they didn't do it. Also, the bullet holes. The bullet holes in this game, like, they feel better compared to the new game. The new game, it doesn't have that. Like, they kind of disappear, but here they kind of stay for a while, and it feels like a whole war that just happened here. Try and kill him. Like, the way they dodge. The way they, like, that was never, they never do that in Campaign Evolved. Like, all that animation, the way he kind of runs away because he knows he's about to die, and the scream, it just feels like he's alive. The Marines have more energy. Imagine you could just explore up the mountain. Also, you can't really explore in the new Campaign Evolved. They blocked off everything. Like, over there, if I want to explore there, you can't really do that. You can't. They just blocked off all the areas.
Another bandit dropping in behind us. They're trying to flank us.
Later in the mission, I'm gonna get to moments where there's just moments where you can drive and kind of explore a little bit with the Warhog. And in the new campaign, they just made it that you can't do that. They don't want you to explore. They don't want you to do that. It's just, they don't want you to. Imagine if you could, like, drive up into the mountains and there's a base, and, you know, in the books what they did in the end of this mission, Chief, Johnson, all them, they go to like a base on the rink. If I remember this correctly, I might be wrong. But they go to a base, and in the base, there's like a base, and they go, and there's like a bunch of Marines there. They could have made a whole sub-mission, an extra mission of extra stuff just happening in between the two missions of Truth and Reconciliation, and this. Look at the way he reacts. Look at the way he just gets angry when you shoot him, and he flinches every time. I hear there's people doing mods already because they're bringing back the pistol sound and the AR sound and all these like details which completely change the game, because the pistol sounds very bad in the new campaign. It just doesn't sound strong enough. Like the way he just kind of flinches when you shoot him. You don't really get that with the new Jackals.
Echo 419. Anybody reading me? Repeat. Any UNSC personnel respond. Roger, Echo 419.
Imagine, this is just another idea,
UFO hammer?
you could get on the Pelican and go to a different area on the map,
Hammer, we need transportation.
and then if you want to, you can come back. Now, this is something that I remember when I was playing Dark Souls 1, you can go to a different area, explore it, and then come back if you want to. And I was just thinking why they couldn't do that more in this game. You can get on the Pelican, go to a different area, fight in it, explore in it, get some weapons, and come back. You know, it would have been a very interesting add-on. It would have been very cool. Like, you get on, and then you can explore.
That's affirmative. Echo 419, staying on station. Hammer out.
Can't really explore up mountains, but you can explore the other locations. Whoa, that was an interesting flip. In the new campaign, you can't really go up here. See, exploration. You know? You can't do this. And then they just blocked it off with invisible barricades. Like, they just did not do that at all. Like, see this? Even though this is not a lot going up here, this is Halo. The exploration of going outside the map a little bit. You know, if I want to, I can go all the way here, all the way there. I can literally explore this whole area. Now, I can't go outside the map unless I like do a Warhog launch or some kind of crazy stuff. But in the new campaign, you can't even do that.
Survivors will probably stick close to their emergency beacons. We need to find where the lifeboats landed.
Cortana's lines, it feels so different in this game. It feels so much like actual good lines compared to the way she delivered those lines. also, probably something nobody really talks about, but the way the screen changes when I get to that part is really important. Because the way the air is condensated down there, it's a little detailed, but in 2001 they actually did an amazing job. So the air is up here is normal, but because we're going kind of underground, the condensation in the air is kind of misty. And I always love that, because when you get down here, the air is misty and dark, and it feels like it's cold and damp.
Someone built it, so it must lead somewhere.
You know, there's this air, there's this like dense fog almost. And in the new campaign, they did not include that fog. It's like the fog doesn't exist. It's like, it's not important, but it's the atmosphere of removal of the little details. You know, I feel cold now. When I play this, it's like, oh, there's a fog and you're going underground, and the Marines are actually yelling because they're actually happy. Like, it feels like an underground cold cavern, but it stops right here, which I always found interesting. It's back here because that's how far the fog gets to. See? That's how far the coldness of the fog gets. And then once you get down to this point, the fog stops, and it feels like a completely different area. Also, I don't like how they remove these small jumps. Again, streamlining. Because, you know, they just had like a ramp, and they cut this part up. Again, little stuff, big stuff if you add it. Original players have to be like, okay, what's over here? You know, over here is a terminal. Yeah, there it is. Be like, oh yeah, what's over here? It's like, whoa. You're kind of exploring. It's like, whoa, what's happening over here? And then you have to figure out, you have to actually go fast, because the game is kind of like almost teaching you, you need a Warhog to do this part. You kind of need a Warhog. Yes, you could launch yourself with a grenade, and you could do it, but doing this now, it's like they just cut this part. They were like, oh, this is important. None of this is important. This whole part, none of important. It's a little cut, but makes a big difference. Like, how did this? It's kind of like, it's part of the charm. I don't know why they cut moments like this. They just didn't want moments like this. Oh yes, the legendary bridge cut scene. Also, I realized when I was playing Campaign Evolved, when I try to run over enemies, they don't get run over, they just get pushed. When I try to push an enemy, like when I try to run over an enemy, they get kind of pushed in Campaign Evolved. But in this one, they actually get splattered. Like, if you hit somebody in this, they actually get splattered, and you feel you've splattered them. Like, the way I killed them, in the new one, it just kind of pushes you in certain cases. Trying to run everybody over.
You like that? Can't hide from me.
Also, when I was playing this on Campaign Evolved, I was like, okay, how are they gonna improve upon this? But they actually made it worse. They cut scenes out, they made it worse. But when I was playing this originally in 2001, I was like, wow, this place is so spooky. The music is spooky, the feel is spooky, it's kind of foggy, because the condensation is kind of building up down there, and it feels like kind of spooky. Oh, and the glass, oh, the glass actually breaks, and it's glass. No, not that stupid Forerunner glass that just evaporates because they don't want to do the effect of the glass breaking. What they should have done in the remake is maybe added an Easter egg down there or something. Expand upon areas like this. But I want to show you the next part. The next part, they actually cut a lot of the Warhog turns, and probably if you ask them, they'll be like, oh yeah, they simplified it, which I understand that was their point of reasoning. But the more I play the classic version, I'm like, yes, it was probably hiding the load barriers. That's why there was so many turns and corridors, but it kind of added to the charm of you finally get it through those points. Okay. Oh, my favorite cutscene, which was cut. Elites that actually react. You know, I'm gonna tell you this, when I played this originally in 2001, I actually struggled to find out how to get across this bridge. I didn't even know this was a bridge. I thought this was like a point on the map I couldn't get through. And because it's like a mystery, I later found out after a while that this was like a bridge. And you can interact with it. It was like, oh, you have to figure it out type of deal. In the new campaign, it's like, oh, Chief, there is a switch on this bridge. How does she know that? How does she know that? Because this is the first time you're with Cortana on a Forerunner world. And I remember when you get to this point around here, she says, Chief, there's a bridge switch over there. Press it to extend the bridge. 1, how does she know it's a bridge? 2, how do you know there's a switch there? And 3, why? Just why? The whole point was exploring and be like, okay, where do I go? And then if you kind of take your time, you can kind of see something flashing over there. And because of that flashing, you will kind of be like, oh, should I go there? How do I get there? And it was a whole kind of big deal because it doesn't tell you. It just kind of, it's like, I would almost say it's kind of Dark Souls-y because it doesn't tell you this is where you should go, but there are options where to go, and it just tells you nothing. You just have to figure it out. Oh, let's watch the cutscene they cut. The most important, one of the most important cutscenes which they decided to cut. Like, it's a big deal. Like, look, feel the music. The game is telling you, yes, there are these switches. Oh, the panels look so much better. Look at that. Now that's a panel. That's Forerunner. Energy, light. The new panels, I don't even want to look at it. It's that bad. And it gets really silent and scary and spooky afterwards. It's like, whoa. The only thing you can hear are your footsteps. That's how quiet it gets. And then when you realize, it's like, whoa, it's like a bridge. Expand upon the original. Don't cut the original. Also, something I wanted to talk about. It's a little detail, but that's why I'm making this video. It's the little details. You see the light off the tires? The way the energy is being pushed out. This is a 2001 game. When I drive, it has that energy effect. In the new campaign Evolved, they don't have that effect. There is no effect. So this little effect adds such a character because it feels like the Warhog is so heavy that it's pushing the energy, but the energy is so strong that it's pushing the Warhog. And they completely remove that too. Again, little details. Now, I think they did add where if you do shoot, it kind of does the effect. But here they do that too. It just feels so ancient. It feels so like, whoa, you know? What they should have done in this room is kind of expand upon it, because this room doesn't really have anything in it. It's supposed to mirror the other side, but they should have added like a little exploration, a little bit around here. You know, maybe like a corridor that leads somewhere, or a weapon that's hidden, or, you know, something like that. Something like, whoa, you know, or maybe some hints on the flood, or some very subtle hints. Okay. I'm gonna be moving on to the next section. Now here, the way Cortana speaks feels so much more intention. She kind of speaks with intention.
If we can find Captain Keyes and the other survivors, we have a chance to coordinate an effective resistance.
These corridors are cut in the campaign Evolved. Again, ask them. They'll be like, oh, we cut it out because we just want to make it simple. But all these corridors, all this, it adds so much like, whoa. And like you're driving out of here. It's from the underground. You're driving from underground. And yeah, you could say, oh, they were hiding the loading screens. They were hiding all the loading screens. But it feels like, you know, whoa. You know, oh my god, like, it just feels so cut, you know? Like, all these turns, trivial, maybe a lot of people will not understand these corridors, but it's like, whoa, you're finally getting out of here type of deal. And it's like, finally you're getting out of here, like, whoa. Marines? I don't think they don't do that in the new one. Nope. It just feels like the water even. I don't know. The water did look good in the other one. That's true.
Lifeboat detected. No signs of survivors.
Weapons and supplies. Where's the bodies? In the new campaign evolved, I'm gonna go to this next section. I'm gonna show you something which they removed. Actually, I'm gonna show you something. When I shoot the jackals, they actually flinch. So look, flinch. When you shoot them here, flinch, flinch, flinch. In the new one, they don't flinch. Shoot a jackal in campaign evolved. They just stand there with their shields up. The only way to break their shields is an assault rifle. Here, I don't even need an assault rifle. I just need a pistol. I shoot him, he flinches, flinches, flinches. Just so good. Okay. Let's go to the next area. And let's see what they cut in the next area. So here, the right side, they completely cut everything. They put a wall here where you can't explore. And this is something that really kind of annoyed me. I cannot do this in the new campaign. When I found out about this trick in 2001, it was a big deal. It was like, whoa. It was, whoa. Finding about that trick in 2001 was like, whoa. It was like, oh my god, I just figured out something that nobody is supposed to know about. It just, like, I have the advantage on this plateau. And they should have expanded upon that. They should have made it that you can go up here in the new campaign. But they blocked it off with invisible barriers. They didn't want to deal with this, that I have a good bird's eye view. They didn't want to talk about this. I've been doing this for 25 years, going up here. Instead, they just added a bunch of kill boundaries. And what they should have done is added more. I want to explore that way. I actually remember trying to get my Warhog over there. I would actually try. I think I once managed to launch my Warhog over there one time. They should have made it that you can go up there and travel up there. And every time I saw this place, I was like, wow, imagine if I could get my Warhog over there and I can drive upon the hills and go further outside the map, the exploration part. Go up there, you know, they should have added like a pathway or somewhere to get to the roof. You know, a rocket launcher or some kind of ODST drop pod. And when there were banshees, you have to go up there and like shoot the banshees. And, you know, Cortana would say, I feel there's a rocket launcher above us. And, you know, you can like climb up the mountain and there's like a ladder or something. And you can just like shoot the banshees, go over the edge. That's pretty funny. I'm not supposed to be up here. But you can still explore. The geometry made it that you can actually explore. In Halo 2, you can go outside the map, even though you're not supposed to, but the geometry actually made it that you can stand outside the map. Like, you can actually stand outside the map. In the new one, they just don't want you to do this. They just don't want you to do this. Just explore. Just, if I want to explore, I can go. So, this campaign, it does so much stuff better, but the new one was supposed to go further, expand upon it. I want to go that way. I want to go up there, travel along the mountain, like in Halo 2, where you're just traveling upon the hills, traveling, going through the forest. There's a base. Imagine you can go through the base and there was like enemies there and a whole different section and there was like Easter eggs. That's what they should have added. More stuff, not less. Just being up here just feels so like right. They cut it out. One sniper to kill him, by the way. One sniper. Also, in the new campaign Evolved, you see those little markers? Target distance, target elevation? I think they cut that out. I did not see that. I don't remember seeing that. It's a small detail, but completely changes like how a sniper feels now. And especially when you move, so you could be like, okay, elevation, target distance. Again, I don't think they have that in the new one. I did not see that. They might have, but I did not see that. Just exploring into the ocean. Imagine, you know what they should have added? Just looking at this. Imagine like water bases from Halo 2. A water base there. Or another water base there. You know that mission, Regret? When you have to kill Regret and you travel upon those water gondolas? Imagine if you could go to the water side and do a gondola travel system underwater there. But it's like an extra part to the mission. It wouldn't be like, oh, it's cut content. No, add a more extra part to this mission. So the mission would technically end here, but add a part where you have to go down there, fight some enemies, figure out what's happening, save more Marines, add upon the sections. Or then, you know, in the books, they would go to the military base, and then you can be like in the military base, and then you would go to Truth and Reconciliation. You know, like have extra moments in the campaign, not cut moments. Imagine going there. It's the little things, just the little things. Pretty much the missions are the same, but the exploration factor was kind of dialed down again with the kill boundaries and all that stuff. I was expecting more in the remake, which they did technically do the same, but I was expecting more out, more exploring. I want to go up there. But they don't see exploration and walking around by yourself for fun, because if you look at the Cortana's line, she's like, invisible elites, use your radar. Oh, use this panel to turn on the switch. Chief, go this way. Chief, no, Chief, go this way. It holds your hand too much. It holds your hand way too much. They should have added more sections. You take what's built and you just add upon it. Okay, so pretty much the rest of the parts are the same. Pretty much. I don't have anything like super about this mission to say. They did a good job, but still they cut a lot of stuff. And it's the little corridors here, or the, you know, the stupid exploration, which they couldn't add more exploration, more, or, you know, how, you know, you can get outside the map, or, you know, it's just the details. The way the sniper kind of has it. So I'm gonna end the video here, but still, the original adds more rooms and experience and the feel than the new one.